I just thought I'd have a quick look at the minuet, okay, at this new middle section. So I'm starting from, I'm going to start from bar 8, because in the right hand we need to practice for going from this chord, jumping up to that chord. So I would count 1, 2, 3, 1, just to make sure you've got that that leap. It's something you have to memorize. Yes, you need to know that the notes you're going to are E and G, but sometimes visually it's a case of memorizing where the notes are. So if you memorize the bottom note of these two is just a skip or a hop away from where your little finger is, but that's where the thumb's got to go. So let's count bar 8. 1, 2, 3, 1. Now, I did a bit of an exaggerated lift. I won't do that. 1, 2, 3, 1. So that's the first thing you need to practice. Then you can carry on. Same rhythm as the opening bars. 2 and 3 and 1. Take the finger next door. 1, 2 and 3 and take the finger next door. 1, 2 and 3 and take the finger next door. Okay, so I'm just doing those few bars up to bar 14. So you've got a little chord and then you miss a finger out, your fourth finger, and put the 5 next door. Now you can either join it like that, or you can do a little break. It doesn't matter, either is fine. Either would be acceptable, so whatever's easiest. The main thing is to make sure it's the next door note and it's the 5th finger. Okay, otherwise the fingering won't work out as you gradually move down the keyboard each time. Now the other thing you need to practice is starting in bar 14, and I would just start with a run of quavers starting on the F to that other chord. All right, this is the other jump place in this music. So what are we doing? We're going from F with a 5 to 5 on the D. I think we talked about this in the lesson and decided in this instance it was easier to aim for the top note rather than the bottom note, all right? Because the 5 just moves from there to there. The other fingers, if you spread them evenly, will find the chord by themselves because it's an evenly spread chord. You can see that by the pattern, and it's evenly spread fingers, every other finger, so it fits. So let's go again from that quaver group with the F at the top. Okay, maybe you just do the 5th finger, so you've got that. Maybe then add the G at the bottom. And then see next time if you can add the middle finger as well. Okay, the important thing is that you go from the 2nd finger to the 5th finger, or the 2nd finger to the chord, without a stop. So the 2nd finger on the C is snapped very short. Okay, like that. And then finish it off. Okay, so jump from bar 8 to the 1st chord in bar 9. Jump from the quaver group in bar 14 to the 1st chord in bar 15. There's 2 jumps there. Because the other jump that we have is the same one at the beginning and the end of the music. So bar 7 to 8 or at the end. Okay, look at either of those. I'll look at the one at the bottom here, it doesn't matter really. But so if I start on the E, or you can just start again just with the quavers. You don't need to necessarily start as far back as the E, just a group of quavers will be fine. You just got to make sure you're on the right finger. So that would be a 3rd finger on E, or if you start on the quaver group, it's F with a 4. All right, so we have, now I can't remember whether you're doing 2 staccatos or 1. You might be doing that, either that, 1 staccato or 2 staccatos. Okay, in a lot of this music you'll never get 2 people playing it exactly the same, very rarely. It'll be interpreted differently, and there's not necessarily wrong or rights. You wouldn't use pedal in this because that would be inappropriate for this type of music. I know that, so we wouldn't use pedal. But as far as staccato, sometimes it's a bit of an open debate as to what you think sounds right. Whichever, you've got to go from, what do we say? Your fourth finger on the E, F, sorry. You've got to go from the E to the chord. Now in that instance, if I just did the E staccato, we talked about doing this chord. Right, I think that's harder than the one from 14 to 15. I think this one is a lot harder to do. And in that instance, I definitely think the thumb on the E is the one you need to aim for. So you're going an octave, but you're going from your third finger to your thumb. So again, you could cut it, break it down and just do that. So you get to feel how far away that is. Then you could add the thumb and the C, the fifth finger. That's probably a good practice to do actually. Or just from the E quaver to that. All right, then add the second finger. Okay, it is part of your C major broken chord, so I'm hoping that your hand recognises that position. That's why we do broken chords. Okay, but that will need constant practice, that one. All right, for a lot of people it takes a long time, and some don't always get it completely. They always struggle with it. All right, but definitely we don't want to have a stop in the music between 8 and 9. That would be wrong. All right, that would be considered wrong because it's a continual piece of music. All right, just because the double bar line's there doesn't make any difference. Either you would do a repeat, in which case you'd go straight back at the beginning, but then again you don't stop the music. There's no allowance for a pause or an extra count. You have to go straight back onto the first beat each time. In exam music you don't do repeats unless they specify. In this one we're not doing repeats. So again, we just go straight from one bar to the next, as if you're going from any other bar to another one. And so on. All right, so practicing that jump there is really important.